And welcome back to the baseline, where today, guys, we're going to talk about the moves that were made this past weekend. But before we do that, we have some breaking news, which is the Mariners are closing in on a trade to get Brendan Donovan from the St. Louis Cardinals. Very interesting move. They needed a second baseman after losing Polanco, and they also have lost Suarez, but we'll get to that in a minute. Just great defensive. He is a great hitter as well. He hit all the marks that basically the Mariners need. And once again, Jerry DiPoto has gone on and made the move. There will be a 3-team deal, according to this report, which will be the Tampa Bay Rays. So it looks like the Rays will get infielder Ben Williamson from the Mariners. Doesn't say who exactly the Cardinals will get. Probably a few prospects. But the deal is close to being done. Like I said, great move for the Mariners, as the guy could hit, he could field, he could run. Basically do everything for the Seattle Mariners ball club. So why wouldn't you want a guy like that? Now, as for the Cardinals, complete rebuild. This is the fourth trade they have made this offseason. I think it's just a rebuild and eventually get back to where it was. I'll say within a couple years. For the Cardinals, you traded away Gray, you traded away Contreras, Arenado, and now Brendan Donovan. I don't know if there really is anywhere left. Ryan Helsley, last trade deadline. So I think it's a complete rebuild, or retool, as they like to use. So we'll see where this goes. Like I mentioned, Donovan, consistent batter, great second baseman that they needed, kind of either up top or towards the bottom of the lineup, or even in the middle. But that's going to be a great lineup with Rodriguez, Rosarina, Riley, Naylor, now Donovan, who's been consistent and only has entering year 5 here in the big leagues. Has batted around 280. 1 year it was 278, but still good, and doesn't really hit that much home runs. You're looking at a guy whose highest was 14 2 years ago. But he can drive and runs, a fast hitter, great defensively. So I like this trade for the Seattle Mariners. We always expect Jerry DiPoto to pull something off, and he has. I mentioned they lost Suarez, so let's get into that, as he signs a 1-year deal with the Cincinnati Reds, so he's going back to Cincinnati. Once again, another move that I like. I think this move is fantastic. He does have an option for next year, $16 million or $15 million. It could go into 16 if they do pick up the mutual option. Look, he is a veteran, not good at hit for average. going to give you anywhere between 30 and 40 home runs. And he's well likable. He's well likable no matter where he played. Seattle, Cincinnati the first time, Arizona, really likable. And I think this is going to help out their young core. They got such a young team that's hungry to win. They have a great pitching rotation. Andrew Abbott, Hunter Green, Nick Lodolo, and Brady Singer. Those four are really good. Chase Burns is going to be coming up, so hopefully, we can see more of him. I really like the guy. The news is that Suarez is going to be a DH. So it looks to me Key Bryant Hayes is probably going to get more third base time. Along with McLean, it's going to be second. You're going to Dilly Cruz as short. I think Spencer Steer will probably either be at first, I believe. Yeah, he's projected to be the first baseman for them. Look, my biggest problem with them is that they need to play for their strengths. They know it. Francona knows it. And that division and the NL know it. They really didn't do well against the Dodgers in the wild card. But adding Suarez to this, I feel is like what we've heard from people in the Phillies organization about Schwarber, which is he helps some of the guys. He'll talk to them. He'll get them going, and that's what we heard about Suarez. Like I said, is he gonna give you a 300 batting average? No. But he's going to help out these young kids. And I hope he even sees his strengths. One of them is Daly Cruz. Terry Francona is not a stolen base run guy. He, for whatever reason, he's never been like that. But do that now, because De La Cruz, when he came up, fast as hell, stealing all these bases, and we were thinking he could steal 100 bases. Now, obviously, that got cut down. I mean, I know he was hurt. I know he's been struggling last year. But Francona, you got to play to your strengths. You don't have home run guys. Except for, like I said, Suarez. But the rest of the team, they're not going to hit you home runs. They're going to do contact. It's kind of similar to the Blue Jays. They almost beat the Dodgers because they play to their strengths. They don't try to hit the home runs. They get the guy on base. That's what they need to do this year. I think, like I mentioned, Suarez could be the player guy, help them get out of slumps and, teach them these things. Because right now, your biggest threat is the Chicago Cubs. Maybe Milwaukee, but I doubt it. There's a lot of stuff wrong with Milwaukee right now. So right now, your biggest threat is the Cubs. I want to see the Cincinnati Reds have a healthy season. Because if you do, you could surprise all of baseball. Maybe, potentially. And if you do that, then you add on to next year and the following year. There was a report that De La Cruz declined a extension, which will make him the highest paying Red over Joey Votto. And to me, that's not a good sign. That usually means the guy leaves, or now he wants to test out free agency. Go out and try to win. That's what I want to see Cincinnati do. Play their strengths. Try to beat out these teams. Push these big market teams in the NL. And go and at least make a strong run in the postseason. I mean, I do like this team better when they had Andujar. I like JJ Belende. Great player, for his time with Oakland. But now I think a change of scenery of a team that's willing and wanting to win is going to help him out. And like I said, with Suarez, you're just going to add a veteran leadership to a very, very young team. The second move that happened was the Giants making news as they get Luis Arias on a 1-year deal. He is going to play second base for them. So that's going to be interesting, as if you're a fan of the sabermetrics and the analytics. I am not. But it says that he's a terrible defender at second base. That's where he was at first. But, willing to give it a shot, see how things are going to go for him. Listen, the dude's going to bat 300 or higher. He could run. He's 28 years old. This is a leadoff hitter for the San Francisco Giants to help bring up the numbers, the RBIs for Adames, for Chapman, and for Devers. Now, defensively, how's this going to look? We don't know. But he wants to play second base. They're going to give him that shot. We'll see how everything goes. I do like the infield. Chapman, Adames, Arias, Devers, I'm going to have to see at first base. I mean, he was good towards the end, but then kind of struggled at the beginning. So I'm kind of up and down with Rafi Devers. Maybe you go after a first baseman if everything doesn't go well. But, this is a Giants team that is slowly building up to what the fans want. I know Buster Posey came in and people were, excited because he was part of the 3 championships in 5 years. He has made some really, really big moves. Adames last all season. Devers, I think it was May of last year. Then he brings in a rookie manager who's never coached in the minors or even in the majors. He was a college coach. And now you bring in Arias. I would like for them to at least bring in another pitcher. Maybe add something to the bullpen. I know the reliever market right now is not that good, but I like them to adjust at least one or both of those needs. But right now, the lineup, I think it's great. I think a great 1 through 5, if they do it this way, which will be Arias, Jung-Ho Lee, Adames, Devers, Chapman. I think that's phenomenal. Do I think they're going to compete with like the Padres or the Diamondbacks? Maybe Arizona. I don't like San Diego at all. AJ Preller has also... I mentioned Jerry DiPoto earlier. Same thing with AJ Preller, he can just make a move and, it will surprise us all. But you only re-sign Michael King. Hugh Darvish is out. Musgrove is still injury prone. And who's after that? Who's going to be the setup man for Andrew Miller? And is this lineup really dependable besides Machado and Tatis? And Cronenworth and Jackson Merrill? It's 4 out of 9 guys. I don't know. It's up and down with me with that team. I could see the only biggest threat to the Giants are the Diamondbacks. Excuse me, the Diamondbacks. Sorry. Because they're going to get Burns back. They have a healthy Corbin Carroll. They have a healthy Palmeiro. They now have a veteran leadership in Arenado. I did mention they're going to get Corbin Burns back. So right there, I could see, like, I like the Diamondbacks and Giants more than I like the Padres. Right now, I think San Diego's a 4th place team. I mean, there's a couple weeks before spring training starts, and we'll see what happens and see what they could do, but San Diego doesn't look all good right now, in my opinion. Other rumors is the 2 big free agent market that are left, which is the Framber Valdez and Zach Gallen. Both guys, I think, can still provide for a respectable ball club. I can understand Zach Gallen wasn't really good in the beginning of last season. He did well. And then, of course, we had the whole thing with the catcher for Valdez. I think I think really both of them are good. If you don't put them in an ace role, if you don't put them in an ace role, put them in, 2, 3, they'll be fine. I think that was the problem with Zach Gallen, was that Corbin Burns was out, so the Diamondbacks relied on him. Valdez was always the ace, but, obviously something last year didn't click. There are, from my opinion, 3 teams that are interested in both of those guys. The Giants, who we talked about, the New York Mets, and the Baltimore Orioles. Now, we talked about the Giants, so I don't need to re-talk about them. The Mets, you need pitching. You need protection behind Freddie Peralta. You need to prove to even the fan base that you're willing to win now with a $700 million right fielder in Juan Soto. Yes, basically all the moves you made right now are 1-year contracts. Bichette. Yes, it was a 3-year deal, but he has an opt-out after this year. Robert Jr. is a free agent after this year, and so is Peralta. So make these guys stay. David Stearns Don't be afraid for whatever you're doing, whatever the reason is, and sign a guy, re-sign Peralta to a long-term deal. And grab everyone else behind. Because if you sign another pitcher, too, well, one, you'll have 6 starting pitchers. And 2, if Clay Holmes is burned out again, well, now you have extra options and put him back in the bullpen if he gets tired. The Mets gotta be smart, and they have been. I said I like the lineup a lot better. I do like the Frey Peralta deal. I like to see what these other 2 young kids have for a full season. Manaea, you're gonna have to see if he can stay healthy, because it was just freaky injuries. And also Sega. If they do sign a pitcher, I do think Sega is kind of out, because they did drop him to the minors towards the end of last year. But this whole pitching experiment finally bite them in the butt. It wasn't good last year. And that's what I think now you gotta go after Valdez and or Gallen, because yes, you'll lose a draft pick, but a short-term deal, and then you figure it out again. Because maybe you guys go to the playoffs, and maybe if you had Valdez with an opt-out, maybe he opts in and says, hey, I want to win with this team. I like this team. Peralta says, let's talk an extension. Well, if that's the case, if I'm Steve Cohen, okay, Dave, I'm coming in a meeting as well, because I'm making sure we get this done. Same thing with Bo Bichette. That's what I would do. Me personally, I think I would go after Valdez for them over Gallen. But I won't be mad if we did get Gallen. And the same thing with Baltimore. They have built a great lineup. The back end of that bullpen is going to be dangerous. But again, you need more starting pitching. Right now, I'm looking at your ace is a number 2. And the rest are like 3-4 guys. So you need that ace too. Valdez makes sense for them as well. I mean, they get Zach Gallen. Sure, can he be an ace? He's got to prove it for me. But we will see what goes on with those 2 guys. I mean, there really hasn't been any much news, but I mean, those are the rumors. Those are my takes on it. I mean, let me know what you guys think. Where are your takes on how those guys? What do you think about the moves that we just talked about earlier? And also, thank you guys so much for the views. Our viewerships are going up. Please like, subscribe, share, comment. Do everything you can so we can boost this channel up and make it a big thing. I like talking baseball about you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to me. And for that, I will see you all in the next one.